Welcome into the latest edition of the Capital PTBO, the podcast. Jordan Mercier alongside Mark Million, producer Maddie back there as well. You can catch us online anytime at thecapitalptbo.ca or visit us at 370 George Street in Peterborough, Ontario. Mark, what's going on, man? How are you?
What a beauty day. Just terrific.
People strolling around.
People are milling around in the downtown. The sun is shining.
For those who are not local to Peterborough, when the weather gets nice, there's this new form of beast that emerges.
Yeah.
And it's shirtless guy.
Yeah, generally it is shirtless guy.
Shirtless guy.
Yeah.
In every walk in the downtown when you're walking around. You're guaranteed going to see one if you've got a Peterborough bingo card. And that's what you're doing?
Correct.
Shirtless guy is pretty much on it.
Though I'm not sure we've seen shirtless guy, though there are
the
a few.
episode's still
I know,
young.
yeah, we're still building here.
Producer Maddie.
Yeah.
Might have to whip the tarp off a little bit later.
Me? Oh, I don't know about that. We might get banned from everywhere we stream on.
Either that or it's ratings fest, one or the other.
Yeah.
It can be both, man.
Sure.
Different strokes for different folks, for sure. So we've got a lot to get into, of course. This conversation is going to be dominated with the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
I did get one critique from my main man, Nor Osman, who says, maybe a touch too much hockey to that.
Okay.
Matt Latour, you said what?
We live in Southern Ontario.
Yeah, but you know what? And so we fly in the face of that. I know that we tell all the customers that come in, we don't want to be the hometown team. Always Jays, always Leafs.
Right.
But you know what? To that point, we brought in the amount of people and I love every customer we have. Some, to be honest, some I don't. And that's, you got to be that's the truth.
You're not going to like everybody.
I
not gonna like everybody.
I spend $2 at a time here.
But legit, yeah, you're the one. Okay, so the guy who says you have any San Diego Padres stuff? Yes. I've got all these bulletins, swank hoodies. They're right over here. They're $65. You can't buy them any cheaper. On Amazon, they're $90. 65 taxes in. Oh, you don't have a t-shirt? Okay, listen. You want me to be the hometown dude, or you want me to be I can't afford to field the National League West complete kits. It's the National League West. Anyways,
Sometimes
other than
you
that
got to
guy,
pick and choose because I don't know how many Padre fans are in Peterborough. I've never come across one. As a matter of fact, I've never met anyone in my entire life that would, say they're a San Diego Padres fan.
we have two very strong ones, a father and son duo.
Blows my mind.
They are San Diego Padres. They supported it. They each bought a hoodie when we were across the road. They are big fans. Tatis, that's a fun team to watch. Cronenworth and Tatis and Hosmer no longer, but that's a fun group to watch. You Darvish.
It is.
It's good.
It's just weird how some teams, and generally speaking, it's teams that maybe came more recently, although the Padres probably going back to the early 70s at least, late 60s. But it's funny how, it's like the Milwaukee Brewers, who have been competitive.
Yeah.
They've been really good in the last number of years. They've had marquee players going back to the Prince Fielder and the Christian. But you just don't meet anyone who's I'm a big Brewers fan. Loved Robin Yount.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a team that
You don't see it.
they would have had a bunch of they had some bangers.
Harvey's
Paul Molitor.
Wallbangers.
Yeah, Harvey's Wallbangers. That's right. Terrific. So if you are a Brewers fan, you can come down here. I've got no Brewers merch, but
Zero.
it's a hole in the wall that we know that slowly but surely as the stuff sells that we continue to fill the holes.
So we are going to do a lot of hockey talk, not even just baseball talk. So although we will get into the Jays because I want to ask you a question about their win total. They've been playing extremely well.
Yes.
Alec Manoah on a roll that we haven't seen since Roy Halladay. He's won 8 consecutive starts.
Yeah.
Halladay did 11 in a row. Roger Clemens did 8 in a row back in the day too. So I want to give him a little bit of love. But we know the conversation needs to center around the National Hockey League. Why? Because the regular season is wrapping up. I don't think all tonight. I think there are some games tomorrow.
There are a few games tomorrow.
But for all intents and purposes, there's a matchup between the Leafs and the Bruins, which up until this point, because the seeding was decided so early,
Yeah.
you had 8 teams in the Eastern Conference that had 100 points.
Yeah.
And it had probably been decided, well, the Islanders lost a couple of weeks ago and they're 20 points back.
Yeah.
And so from that point, I haven't really paid attention to the day-to-day grind of the standings. And I just assumed Toronto was guaranteed to play Tampa because they were both comfortable.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case. There is a scenario in which they could still play the Boston Bruins.
Correct. There is still. It's very slim now. So just open it up here on the score.ca or the Score app. So Leafs sitting at 113. Tampa Bay sits at 108, but the Bruins are a point back. Tampa and Boston both have a game to play. Bruins win tonight. Tampa loses. The Bruins then move into the Lightning spot, and you'll get Toronto and Boston opening round.
Okay. That's the easiest conversation starter going.
Is it the easiest? Is that the easiest route for the Leafs?
To get Boston?
Don't you have to you have to go through Tampa at some point?
Yeah.
It's hard to knock the two-time champ out. I don't think they're any weaker this year as a squad than they've been in previous years.
No, probably not.
You know what else is strange? We go back to last week just quickly about how the 2020 Lakers, the playoff bubble was kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't get that with the Tampa Bay bubble. I still feel like the grind was still the grind. It was still the postseason. It was a little bit vanilla. You didn't have the crowd noise, so you didn't have home ice advantage or, because you played at neutral sites. But even going back to last year, American teams were still playing, at the end of the season in front of home crowds. And
for
that
them,
sort
it
of
was
thing.
only wonky when it got to the final, I guess, right? When they played Montreal.
Yeah, because they were only, I think, like 10,000 capacity in Montreal.
Yeah, and I feel like they upped it just for the final.
Yeah, it was 2,500 before that.
Yeah. So,
But my question for you, you'd rather them play. You're probably going to have to beat both of these teams.
yeah.
Okay? You'd rather play Boston to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruins are just in my head, like any Leaf fan. But this isn't the Jake Gardiner deer in the headlights Bruins. It's not. So, start from the goalie out. It's not Tuukka Rask anymore. And Rask isn't even that great a playoff goaltender, so it's not. And Freddie Anderson didn't blow your series. So here you're going in with new, you've got Campbell. He's new. You've got Linus Ullmark or Swayman, whoever's going to play goal for Boston. Neither of those guys should terrify you. Brad Marchand's going to be Brad Marchand. And so is Bergeron, and you know what to expect. The guys to Pasternak would be the guy that I would be afraid of. Louis DeBrusque would be the guy I'd be afraid of. Charlie Coyle would be the guy I'd be afraid of.
Bergeron.
Patrice Bergeron is going to win 60% of your draws, but what's Matthews' number?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
So I think that's probably even. There's more firepower on the Leafs side. It just, for me, two things I'd have to see, and I'll give you your due in a sec. There's got to be some jam right out of the gate, and it can't be Spezza. It can't be Wayne Simmons. It can't be, you can't have these guys be your jam dudes. Johnny Tavares, you're going to have to throw one, man. Mitch Marner's been throwing them all calendar year, since the switch got flipped. Do you think the Leafs can hang in there physically, Bruins-wise?
Yes.
Sure.
I think Toronto would win that series and win it comfortably. I'm not going to
Wow.
say 5, but a nice cheap 6, like where there's a blowout near the end or something like that.
Really?
I think Toronto's there.
I'll take that.
I think they're there. I think they're there against the Boston Bruins, as you mentioned. I don't think it's so funny talking about the Boston Bruins because you're still talking about a team with 50 wins and 100 bucks.
Yeah, sure.
As a Red Wing fan, I'm looking at the team getting a little bit better and then saying, entering next year, you basically have to win 50 games and 105 points.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have no chance.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And how great these 4 teams are. And, maybe you make a case for Tampa Bay running out of steam eventually, but at the same time, it doesn't look like any of those 4 teams are going to trail off significantly in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Back to my point. I think Toronto is at a point where they beat Boston. As a fan, I'm actually going to zig when everyone else is zagging because I think as a casual observer, my gut usually goes to, I want original 6 and Boston, Toronto. That's heated.
Sure.
What I saw the one night between Tampa Bay and Toronto with the Patrick Maroon stuff and the Wayne Simmons stuff, Toronto loses 8-2. Who cares? Matthews not playing. Backup goalie's playing. It doesn't matter.
All right.
But I think that game was a recognition of Tampa Bay saying, they're here. They're on our level.
Right.
And we need to show them that we're the bosses in this case.
Right.
I think Tampa Bay has enormous respect for the talent in the lineup of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I would expect so,
and
yeah.
for that, I'm kind of hoping, and percentage-wise, that's the likely scenario still. So what would have to happen, Matt?
I think Mark broke it down at the start. So you need Boston to win tonight against Toronto and Tampa Bay to lose against the Islanders.
Yes. So, and if anyone's listening to this a week later, we're recording on April the 29th.
Yeah, you're already 2 games into a Leaf win.
Yeah.
Season series was split.
Yeah.
2 games each. The last one being a blowout. I'm confident either way. I like you said, you're talking about the 8th place team got 100 points. So there's no easy out.
No.
I think it's just for the Bruins, people have it in their head. I think with Tampa Bay, they would feel better. If the Leafs got in the opening round, I can't believe myself that Tampa Bay is an easier out. There's no way.
It has been since 2004 that the Toronto Maple Leafs have advanced out of the first round. And I remember, weird story, me and my buddies went down. There was a Blue Jays game, a home Jays game that same night of Game 7 between Toronto and Ottawa. And I remember going down on the train and being like, oh, maybe like I was so naive. I was like, oh, maybe we'll get Game 7 tickets instead. We hadn't bought our tickets yet. And they're like, no, that's going to be fairly expensive. So we went to the Jays game instead, and they would give like updates on the scoreboard.
Sure.
And by about halfway through the game, I mean, most people are up in the concourse watching.
Right.
Patrick Lalime just turns into an absolute sieve.
Yeah,
in that
no
game.
kidding.
so
The Joe
bad.
Nieuwendyk goals were
Oh my gosh.
horrible. So it's been that long for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I'm just super excited, and I think this is a team that's poised for a run.
Absolutely.
I'm going to probably eat my words, maybe, but
You know what? I hope we do, but like I remember talking to Jay about it last year, and Justin said, like, sometimes you just lose.
yeah,
Like, it's not guaranteed that if the year that the Caps to 7 in the Shanna plan year 1 or whatever that was, anomaly. So you push them to 7. So then there was that automatic excitement, like, we're going to year 2 and we're going to make a move. And year 2, you get beat. Okay, no problem. This year we're making a step. We're taking that step. We're going to the next round. And you get beat. Okay. Like, sometimes it just happens. You just get beat. This year, I think the Leafs can do it. I think that you're going to need your big guys to play, but you need your role guys just as much.
Is there a statistic that I could throw out to you to best summarize what sort of crazy offensive year this has been? So I've got a couple of candidates here. So
hear
Austin Matthews, 60 goals. That's very rare.
Absolutely.
That's extremely rare. We've seen Ovechkin do it, and we've seen Stamkos do it, and that's really it for the last 30 years.
That's the salary cap era. Yeah.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, I think Bure had a 58.
Yeah, he
59,
flirted. That's
but,
right.
Still sort of different, as you mentioned, not salary cap era. The amount of 100-point scorers, like all of a sudden I look at the list and there's like, Matt, you can get the number, but I mean 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I'm working on it. 1 sec. I know there's a lot more 50-goal scorers than we usually get.
Steven Stamkos out of nowhere has like 35 points in a 16-game stretch and gets to 100 points. First time in his career.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm
That's
just
more surprising.
Scratching my head
Sure.
at the number of people. You mentioned 50 goal scorers. I think there's probably 4.
So we got 8 guys with 100 points.
Okay.
And then Mitch Marner's at 97, JT Miller's at 98.
Could happen.
50 goals, you got Alex Ovechkin, Chris Kreider, Leon Draisaitl, and Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago, and I don't know what the answer is in terms of why there's been this explosion. But it wasn't that long ago that you would see, I mean, everyone would point to Jamie Benn wins the scoring title with 87 points.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby led the league in goals one year with 44.
40. Yeah, that's right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. And I'm excited. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different storylines. I'm going to throw one more at you. Roman Josi, who's going to come up just short of the 100-point mark
Yeah.
as a defenseman, which is all-time rare.
Yeah.
He got over 90 and is only the second player ever to get over 90 points as a defenseman with nobody else on his team getting at least 80 points. Which is
right?
insane. Because when you think, usually hand in hand, okay, when Brian Leach was getting 100 points, you knew that there was Messier and he was having a big
Sure.
year, or Paul Coffey with any name, whoever, Gretzky, Messier, Curry, whatever.
Sure.
Only Ray Bourque, 93-94, he scored over 90 points and nobody else on his team.
Wow.
And that was the year that Neely, I think, had 50 and 49. So,
Right.
anyways, that, to me, Roman Josi, and it's, look, I don't think we're going to get a defenseman Hart Trophy winner. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But 95 points is pretty impressive.
Oh,
I never thought I'd see it again, to be honest with you.
72 assists.
I never thought I would see it again.
sure. On a team
Defenseman that high.
in their entire history, I don't think they have it. They certainly don't have a 50 goal scorer.
No. This was the record. It was Paul Correa,
Paul
85.
Correa, yeah. So, for a team that's defense first, and that's been that's their mantra.
Yep.
It's incredible and again, it's so rare. I think defensemen always get extremely overlooked in the Hart Trophy conversation. Like, to me, we saw Pronger win in 2000.
I have a real hard time with the defenseman winning the Hart.
To me,
The reliever winning the MVP, the pitcher winning the MVP.
you're going to say bias, but the fact that Nick Lidstrom was never even like a finalist for that award, to me, is insane.
They play more on the ice than anybody outside of the goalie.
Then what's the James Norris for? Best defenseman?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, why can't a forward win?
Yeah, but
because it's
They
for
have
a
the
defenseman.
Selke.
But a Vezina can win a Hart Trophy as well.
But again, the problem, it's the most valuable goaltender. Vezina winner.
Can you not play defense and be the most impactful player on your team?
I think you can. But the term most valuable player to your team.
Yeah.
So then what's the most valuable defenseman to your team, the most valuable goaltender to your team? Just why is it that we can go up one, but you can't go down one? I can't have a centerman win. Yeah, you can win the Selke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would that sit in the...
Lady Bing, buddy.
Where do those sit on the mantle? Which mantle are they in?
I like a good Selkie.
Where you like a good Selke?
Peterborough content. They
Wow.
invented the Selkie.
No kidding, yeah.
For Bob Gainey, who won it the first 4 years.
Peterborough company excluded.
You want to talk about points dropping off? My favorite one is the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, 123 points. Leon Draisaitl, 110. Third is Zach Hyman with 54.
Guys are going in on McDavid on Twitter. Like I was reading it maybe 2 nights ago. Guys are going in on McDavid like it's a down year. 123 points.
Career high in points.
Career high in points,
That's what I
career
mean.
high in goals.
He's 25 years old, too. The kid's only got light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, part of it is that he had such a torrid pace last year in the shortened season.
I get maybe he's being compared against himself. I suppose.
This is it. You're like I think McDavid is going to get a Tiger effect here very soon, where Tiger wins 6 tournaments with the 1 year, and people are like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with him?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example.
He won 11 last year,
and I'll give them a shout out. If you haven't listened, Wayne Gretzky was on Spit and Chicklets this week.
Terrific.
And he doesn't do a lot of sit down interviews like that, and he was outstanding. And
till he does ours.
to me, until he does ours, his tenure with the Petes. Yes. Which I noticed in his junior hockey conversation, he skipped over. Yeah, he didn't mention the 3 games or whatever with Petes.
The only place he ever played that he was less than point per game.
Yes, but this is the perfect example of what you were just talking about. Is most people think Wayne, okay, a few good years in LA, and then by the time he gets to be like Blues Gretzky, he's old and whatever. He's still getting 90 some points or whatever. But
sure.
He wins a scoring title in 93-94 with 130 points, and you're like, he's an old man and he's totally over the hill.
Sure.
It's because he's being compared against what he was doing,
right.
which is sort of what Connor McDavid is going to run into for sure.
But he's got more points than he's ever had. It's
no,
just
I understand.
The pace last year was so good.
The pace was different, and now it's like, okay, you can get 125. Call me when you're going to get 140.
Yeah,
and we'll
sure.
talk. Which is totally unfair.
Yeah.
But that's just the way that he ends up getting marked against himself without, of course, the bigger conversation of playoff success.
Yeah.
Which he needs to have.
Which he does need to have. And he's certainly in that Crosby territory now. The crosshairs are going to start to line up here soon about if it's a first round exit. There is a matchup there. I think the Edmonton's got the easiest boat. The LA Kings to me might as well be, no disrespect, but like Detroit in terms of Edmonton will steamroll this Kings team.
Like 5 games, no problem.
And if they don't, then they really should, because I'm telling you, that is going to be, I think that's a disaster waiting to happen.
But there's 3 points separating the two teams.
I know. But
Like
you can't tell me that Kings team's hard.
The Kings won the Cup as an 8 seed a couple years ago.
No, not a couple.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10. The problem is...
Dustin Brown.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys still playing for that 10 years ago
Johnny
team.
Quick.
That's true.
Yeah, Johnny Quick still... Kopitar's still there.
I'm glad you brought up Sidney Crosby. So this was interesting. In the NHL, the National Hockey League Players Association poll surveyed more than 500 players. Even now in 2022, Sidney Crosby led the way with 29.5% of the votes as the best and most complete player in the NHL.
Good.
Crazy.
That's how it should be. Because I think he is. The defensive,
Still?
defensive aspect,
still?
best and most complete player that does it on both sides of the puck.
I really like those sorts of things when you get like guys that are within the game that are, they're voting on these sorts of things.
See it differently.
They see it way differently. When guys talk about, I remember Pat McCauley told me a story once upon a time that what Alex Kovalev played for the Ottawa Senators. And guys still talk about Kovalev. Kovalev just played in a retirees game, and they talk about his hands, how unbelievable he made it seem. And so here's you've got 25 pros, right? These are all guys that at some level have dominated their hockey level to get to the point where they are today. Mm-hmm. But Kovalev would play hog with other grown men, and he'd have the puck 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes, and you're twisting and turning. And these are grown men, like Wade Reddens, Chris Phillips. Like these are guys that are. The other one he used to do is him, and maybe Howie's listening, I don't know, but Brian Smolinski, I think, was on the other side.
What a name!
So Smolinski is standing here at the goal line, and Kovalev's standing beside the goal in the other one. And Kovalev would saucer it 8-12 feet in the air, bounce on Smolinski's stick. Bang, bang, like 180 feet apart.
It's ridiculous.
And then he'd miss one, and Smolinski like, come on, even though he'd hit like 7 or 8 in a row.
There were really two players that I was always told, if they wanted to and they were devoted to it, could be the best players in the league. They just, for whatever reason, not consistent enough. Alex Kovalev was one of them in terms of talent. And the other one before him was Stéphane Richer.
Oh, wow.
Who would like score 50 goals,
Yeah.
and then he has like 20 the next year because he's sort of not interested. And then he comes back and scores 50 again.
Yeah.
And then we know now he was battling some addiction and some mental health
Yeah.
problems. But those are the two guys that I remember. I mean, my dad said, I heard it from different players that, boy, if this guy wanted to, he could have a run as the best player in the league for 4 or 5 years.
I wonder is that more fun to know, like, amongst your peers, like,
I can turn it on.
Listen, this guy, if he wanted to turn it on for 2 weeks, trust me, we're going to the house.
You'd be in trouble. That's right.
Terrific.
A lot of excitement in the playoffs. We've got an exciting announcement here, and you got to watch for a special video that's going to be going out this weekend.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Am I putting it up?
Tell me a little bit. Do you want to flash this for us? We've done we have a director of creative services here at MNC Podcasting in the Capital PTBO. His name's Matt Latour.
Correct. He is certainly worth more than what we're paying him.
In my opinion, this is the best tournament board since WrestleMania 4.
Yes. I did see that in the group chat, and I laughed, but it was only really because I didn't see the tournament board in WrestleMania 4.
I was
just
like, Bristol
assumed it
board.
was cool. Oh, come on, Vince. Didn't Vince just cash in on a big WrestleMania the year before? He couldn't have thrown a couple of bucks at a corkboard?
No graphics.
The Capital PTBO $1,000 playoff bracket, proudly sponsored by Dave Dixon of IG Wealth Management, which we're super pumped about. Dave is a terrific customer of the store.
Yes.
And has 1,000 stories. This is a guy who's been to WrestleManias, he's been to Raptors games, he's been to Jays games. So it's fun just to, like we do with a lot of people, they come in, they shoot the breeze about whatever, Raptors, Jays, whatever you want to talk about, we're into it. So the video, let's get to it. There are 32 competitors. 32 sheets have been handed out. They have not all come in yet, but you'll have till Sunday at noon. Sunday at noon, but you are going to put your team head-to-head up against another team that you don't know yet. So we're going to do the draw live. You're going to be able to see your name in lights on the window with your head-to-head. We'll post everybody's sheets up ahead of time so that if we select at random, Jordan Mercier is up against Shane Sayer, and we put it up there, you'll be able to go in and see Shane's sheet as well as vice versa, your sheet, to see which of your 8 players and 2 teams advance per round.
One of my favorite things about this is that it's a different take on a playoff pool. I've never been in something where it's head-to-head, mano-a-mano.
Yeah.
Which is, it complicates things a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Because you could easily dust somebody, but then you could drop players.
Yeah.
If I lose 4 or 5 players in the first round, boy, that second round matchup, I'm only going to have a handful available to
Sure.
me. So
we can,
it's a little different.
As the sheets have rolled in, you can see certain guys, and I mean, unfortunately, I have to see all of them, but you can, and it doesn't really, everybody kind of had their own idea. if you think the Leafs are going to go to the final, you're going to try to take Leafs in every single tier, or Colorado, or St. Louis, or whoever it is. Or some guys go off the board. They may want to take who's got the softest opening round. Maybe I take McDavid and Draisaitl thinking I can get them through, because it mirrors the pro tournament.
Strength in numbers. You decide, do I want to take a flyer on a guy I think's not going to make it past the second round, but could get me 15 points?
Right.
Or do I say, I want 4 guys who can maybe make it to the conference final and the final, and each of them will get me 7 or 8 points, and collectively it'll work.
Because as the rounds go forward, the goal and assist point value goes up. So maybe McDavid and Draisaitl do go in for 15 points in the opening round, but they get beat. Mm-hmm. But it's enough to get you through to the next round with your 6 players. So terrific idea. Justin came up with it. I wish I could take credit for it, but no, I don't wish I could take credit for it. Why do people say that? We should have a podcast one time on like idioms, like idiosyncrasies, things we say. Like, anyways, Jay came up with it, and it was terrific. And we boiled it down to just keeping it at 32, and then the final 4. You have the fatal 4-way there in the final. It's you versus 3 other guys, and it's the heart. And you hope that you've got 4 guys left in the final.
We've already been looking at possible promo photos for this fatal 4-way cage match.
The one
which is going to be great.
The one with Latour with the leather mask and the shirt off, that's a weird one, but I think we use it.
That's straight off my Tinder page.
That's jeepers. I wasn't going to say that, but
the gimp suit.
Yeah. Well, what was that? Was it Billy Madison where the principal was
the revolting blob?
The revolting blob. I wouldn't go that far with Latour. I can tell he's been going to the gym, but I mean, who am I? Anyhow, it's going to be a terrific event. We're super pumped for it. Dave Dixon, again, stepped up huge for us. Terrific. We really, really appreciate it because it's big for us.
It's huge.
It's a big event for us, and we're proud to put it on. Like it's fun.
Dave's one of my favorite guys. He used to come on the old show on Extra 90.5 when it existed. And as you mentioned, just outstanding. But I think it's important to point out, too, he's a guy that likes to have a lot of fun, but he's also a guy who can give you some great services and some great advice.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Everything that he does.
Yeah. And I think the key for me is he's come into the store maybe 4 or 5 times now. Every time we don't talk about Investors Group. We don't talk about investing money. We don't talk about that stuff. But I've asked them, like, what is it that you do? We work at Investors Group, and I'm the regional director, and we help people along and do these sorts of things. But I gotta tell you, we have this lady that works the office. She's terrific, and I gave her the Raptors. And before long, it's a story about how he gave the tickets away to the Kawhi Leonard game, but it was the lady's first game so she came into the office on the Monday type thing or whatever. Oh, that was a great game. Like,
I had some fun.
I had some fun. Like, is it always that raucous?
Oh, it doesn't happen like that.
No, that actually, you went to like the preeminent Raptors game. Anyways, Davey, beautiful. We're super pumped. So that's going to go live Monday night. Playoffs start Monday night.
Can't wait for it, and we'll provide round by round updates.
Yes.
Going to be firing out a lot of updates over the course of time there. We've got the Flashback Friday quiz coming. However, I did want to get a quick thought here because the Toronto Blue Jays are playing so well. They're so fun. Alec Manoah has been great. A lot of the additions have been great.
Yes.
They seem like a fun group of guys that you want to cheer for.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone's in, everyone's high-fiving. There's a chemistry there that is, championship grade, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Right now, take a guess on how many wins you think this team is poised to get. I think they're 13-7 right now.
13-7.
Are they knocking on 100?
I was going to say, can they get to 100 wins? I don't believe anybody in the American League East can get to 100. I think eventually they stop each other.
Right.
Tampa Bay eventually figures it out. The Yankees are going to be the Yankees. The Red Sox are going to be the Red Sox. When I see Anthony Rizzo hit 3 home runs and the total combined feet is less than 940.
The shortest
Give me a break.
home run ever hit, according to the measurement, 292 feet.
Yeah, come on.
Which is going to be me at the Kinsman Park coming up, by the way.
Yeah, watch
softball season getting ready to start.
Don't park too close to the diamond. There.
Rizzo had to think about that when he signed, because actually in Wrigley Field, if you're a left-handed batter, there's a dip out where it's actually the deepest part of the park.
Right.
Is if you pull one straight away. And now he's saying, well, that probably robbed me of a few, so I'm going to get a couple of cheapies here.
That's so I think that's what, because what do you play 19 times against each other? So I don't think the Jays can get to 100. What's Vegas say? Are they middling 90s?
Yeah, middling 90s still a little bit. Franchise history, 96.
96.
I think is the, I think so. That was the 92 team. The 93 team, which actually I think was a better team. They
had 95. Less wins. Yeah,
they only had 95 in there. So
I think the Jays get to 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
They haven't lost the series yet, and they're winning close ball games, which they weren't doing last year.
That's the real winner for me, because you can't win the division in April, but you could play your way out of it.
Totally.
Make it very difficult losing one-run games. Jordan Romano's been automatic. Adam Simber's been automatic. Romano buggered one up the other night, but I mean,
Alek Manoah's, like Jordan mentioned it off the top, pitching maybe the best he ever has.
Yeah, totally.
And considering he's not even a year into his starting career.
This is the guy that people wish the Jays could always get. And for whatever reason, I frame it that way, but I mean it like there was always an upstart that would pitch on another team, and you'd wonder, like, why does that never happen to the Jays?
Where did that guy come from?
Yeah, why does Mike Trout come out of nowhere in New Jersey? Comes out of nowhere and he gets drafted 16th in the opening round, and all of a sudden he's Mickey Mantle. Why don't we ever get that Jays guy? Well, now you got the guy. Manoah, was he 13-2 and 15 career, appearances or whatever he's got?
Can we get the caption, Mark Million, quotations, Manoah equals Mantle, end quote?
Yeah, I think I have a feeling we might have a hard time selling that T-shirt.
Dave Dixon will be way out of here. I'll be like, these guys are crazy.
No kidding.
I don't want anything to do with these
edit
takes.
that part out.
Yeah.
It's
no,
fun,
I know what
though,
you're
isn't
saying,
it?
though. I totally know what you're saying. You kind of get that. And a lot of championship teams are built on those secondary guys who have career years, who step up and exceed what scouts probably thought they could do. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching the Blue Jays. We got to get down to a game. We got to have a little capital PTBO. Here we go. We buy 1, 2, 3, 4. We buy 6 tickets. 2 of the listeners come with us. How about that?
Absolutely.
And we got to go on a Tuesday for Looney Hot Dog Night.
Looney Hot Dog, 17,000 hot dogs.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
17,000 hot dogs. We have a friend of the show, Andrew Forbes. Andrew Forbes is an accomplished baseball essayist. I want to say he'll be an author, but he has a collection of essays. The newest one is called, it's about Ichiro. The Utility of Boredom, a great follow on Instagram. He bought 6. Come on, man.
6 hot dogs.
He's not the type of guy that looks like he put 6 away, but he's like super baseball enthusiast, so I guarantee he put 6 down.
I'll go 1 an inning, and I hope it goes extras.
I could go 3 if they were the Schneider's Red Hots, but I think these are the bigger ones, though. I think.
No,
right?
You know what? Here's the one thing: as a guy that's put a few hot dogs down in his day, I'll tell you a few things I know. 1, when they're $1, you're getting the chicken wiener red hot. 2, you always go to the gate hoping that it's not the red hot. You're hoping for the 8 to 9 incher, plenty plump, decent bun. You're not getting that for $1. You're getting the chicken variety. They're having the
gas station special.
You're getting the fundraiser at Freshco Dog for $1.
Listen, for $1, like I said, I'll do 1 an inning. Don't order me an Uber to go home. Get a hearse. It's game over. I'll do it. Like I'm $1 for a hot dog at a baseball game. You can get 10 hot dogs for the price of a beer.
Why don't we just go over to Sweet Beast over in East City? Let's just get like a 12-pack of saucies, Hammer Time. They're $5 each.
What are you guys gonna eat?
Easy. And just go down the rabbit hole.
Maddie loves his cheddar-filled wieners.
Oh, so you're dead. You're almost physically, you've reached maturation. You're almost dead.
He's in trouble.
My body is a dumpster.
Well,
It's a sewer.
okay, but I mean, holy smokes. You know that's not cheese.
You know, a hot dog's not beef.
Well, I don't know. Costco dogs.
That chicken dog you're buying, it's not chicken.
No, please. I understand that. We should do that next opening day. We should have like a taste testing. We'll just put 4 or 5 dogs. They've got to be hot. And the Costco dog will win.
You can ask Jordan. Every July the 4th, I watch Joey Chestnut reps the field at work. I turn it on at work and I sit there for 20 minutes and watch it.
I can guarantee you, no one will. If anybody comes down here on July the 4th and asks to watch that, they'll immediately be extricated from the store.
It'll be me.
No, you'll be leaving.
Spoiler alert. July the 4th. Oh, it's not a Friday. That would have been great.
Oh, that's horrifying to watch.
I wonder if this is the year Kobayashi comes back.
Come on.
Not a chance. Joey Chestnut's the most dominant athlete in the history.
Let's do the Flashback Friday quiz.
All right, let me get the music here. Here we go.
Oh, this guy's slacking over there.
They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it?
Here's strike ball one. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Larson. Henderson made a wild snap for Bell. Here's another shot. Right by the floor. And he's done. And scores to Canada. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
All right, in honor of the occasion, the category should be a popular one, and that is National Hockey League playoffs.
Oh,
Broad scope. We're going to focus on individuals, although I'm sure through the course of time we will do some team-related ones. But that is the category, gentlemen. Let's queue up question number 1. This one I liked. Who currently has the record for most points in one playoff series with 19?
Ooh.
19 points in one playoff series. It did go to 7. So you're looking at 19 points in 7 games, which is still pretty staggering.
I read this like last year during the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that they're on the less obvious side, but I feel this is a 1988 record. Yes?
If I yell it out before he says it, do I get the point?
Yeah.
Latour,
hold on a minute.
listen.
You relax over there.
Yeah, you just easy.
It's
over
not the right year. It's the right decade.
there. It is the right decade. Okay.
course.
I'm going to go Mario Lemieux.
It is not Mario Lemieux.
Rick Middleton.
Nifty Middleton.
It is Rick Middleton.
Against the Buffalo Sabres.
See,
Former Oshawa General, who my dad says was in his time going, he missed Bobby Orr, but in his time going, he said Rick Middleton was probably the best player.
in
he
that
saw.
the late 80s I was referencing there's like the playoff record for most points in a game, and it's like 2 guys on the same team from the New Jersey Devils. I think it's
Sundstrom
and Stastny. And Lemieux also dominated that series too. Okay, Rick Middleton, way to go.
19. Now, Gretzky had an 18 in 6 games, and Mario had a 17 in 6 games.
Yeah, I knew Mario had the 17.
Middleton had 19?
19 in 7 games against the Buffalo Sabres. Most goals scored in a 4-game sweep
Ooh.
By a player or team?
by a player with 9.
Whoa.
This guy scored 9 goals in a 4-game sweep.
Newsy Lalonde.
Whoa.
It is not Newsy Lalonde. Although he's up there on some wacky records for sure.
Sure.
He must be, yeah. Like
Cyclone Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, like Joe Malone. I'm assuming it's not Joey's time frame.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's more current than you probably would think.
9, sign me up for 9 in a sweep, cheapers.
A lot of goals, man.
That is a lot of goals.
it's like Matt Duchene.
It is not Matt Duchene.
Is this like 1970s?
No.
Oh, wow.
It's closer.
It's closer.
Yeah.
Closer?
It's in the 2000s.
2000s. Jeepers, who was anybody that was I don't know, like Ryan Getzlaff.
No.
Like I thought of those
Corey
Mighty
Perry?
Ducks. Yeah,
No.
like somebody.
Close. So 07-08 playoffs, second round. The Mule, Johan Franzen, scores
Holy-
9 goals against the Colorado Avalanche in a sweep.
Holy smoke. We
That
could
was
have
for
played
what
this
year?
game till 10 o'clock. I wouldn't have got Johan
The
Franzen.
Mule. That was
Mule.
the Red Wings Cup year.
Oh, okay. So the first.
And he scored 13 goals in 16 games. He missed a few in the conference final and in the cup final. So he might have had a shot at Reggie Leach if he had stayed
Yeah,
that
that's
hot.
right. Yeah, Reg.
All right, gentlemen, give me the 2 top-scoring defensemen in playoff history with 196 points and 183 respectively.
Ray Bark.
Raymond Bourque, 196. Easy peasy.
Paul
for that
Coffey?
one.
Lemon squeezy.
It's not Paul Coffey.
Correct.
That hurts.
Although when you said that, I was like, did I just forget Paul Coffey in this conversation? It's not Paul Coffey.
Yeah, I get 1983. This is a guy also that Larry Robinson
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Big Bird.
played every year.
Is it?
No.
He was 20 years in the postseason.
Wasn't him.
Yeah. So okay. So if not Paul, not
I'm going to need to be fact-checked on this.
Is it? It's
Paul
not Nick
Coffey
Lidstrom,
question.
is it?
It is Nick Lidstrom.
Really?
I should have known there'd be another
There's always
Red
gonna
Wing
be a
in
Red
there.
Wings
Yeah,
answer
the
with this
dirty
guy.
Red
We
Wing.
all-
Get ready for the
Friends
Chris Osgood question coming up here.
Oh my gosh.
The worst part is I don't know if he's lying.
I know that's it. Yeah, give me the Mike
It's
Vernon
coming.
Detroit years. How about that?
We will switch to goalies.
Oh, okay.
Most overtime games won as a goalie with 40, which is almost double the next closest person.
I'm gonna guess Patrick Waugh.
That one was easy.
Yeah,
I
he-
I was going to guess Dominic Hasek.
well,
just by
Waugh
way
had the
we're
10 in
going
a
here.
row in '93.
That's a quarter of them, yeah.
Right.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
40 and 18.
Yeah.
A 690 win percentage in overtime
Yeah, how's that money
for
goaltender?
Patrick Waugh. Now, some of it is because of that particular season, but
Sure.
pretty incredible. Like
Still
if
to
you,
win 10 in a row.
If you got to overtime, Patty was pretty good to
He
have.
locked the door.
Ed Belfour, 22, was the next closest on that one.
Oh, wow. I would have guessed Marty. Marty's got to be up there in games played.
Oh, for sure.
He's got to be up 40 or something.
I would have guessed like Hasek.
I think the thing with Dom is that he didn't have enough deep playoff runs,
No.
Yeah.
right? Like he
And he came when he was
toiled-
older. He didn't have
Yeah.
as many.
Well, he had that
actual things.
early '90s Chicago and toil and
Yeah.
backed up Jimmy Waite. Holy smokes!
Yeah, there were first round exits in the early 90s for him, for
Yeah.
sure, with Buffalo. Last but not least here, who has the highest save percentage for goalies with at least 100 games played? There are 2 that are tied at 925. 925
For a
save
career.
percentage. For a career, at least 100 games.
Patrick Waugh?
Incorrect.
Worth a shot.
This sounds strange, but Kirk McLean,
No Kirky.
because I
Kirky-
know
Kirky had some
he's got a
years.
ton. Yeah,
He had
Ron
some years.
Hextall.
Not Ronnie.
Oh,
Conn Smythe Trophy for Ronnie as a losing goalie.
Marty Brodeur?
No.
okay. Dominic Hasek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that's-
Dom for sure.
You suck.
That was
Ken Dryden?
that
He
should
didn't
have been-
Imagine it's Terry Sawchuk here. You guys would be like freaking out.
I
It's
know.
not.
It's like Jimmy Howard or someone.
No. You kidding?
Big game James?
Big game, Jimmy. At
Never
number
won a
2, what's
series.
the number? 925.
925.
Henrik
Dom-
Lundqvist?
No. Right era.
Oh.
Jonathan Quick.
No. Close.
Roberto Luongo?
No. I'm going to toss this one to you guys.
Corey Crawford?
No. Cristobal Ue? No.
Oh, don't give it to us. We're going to get this.
Jose Theodore? No.
No.
It's a team effort. Right era.
Jocelyn Tebow? No.
Right era.
Yeah.
Carey Price? No.
No.
No, he's not been that good in the playoffs.
J.S. Giguere, he says?
No. Although he does have a good save percentage, but I don't think he got to 100
Yeah,
games.
in the 04.
100 games, you got to be around.
Yeah, you got to play
Like Timmy Thomas wasn't around that long to do that.
Marc-Andre Fleury?
No.
the flower.
Although you're teetering around it a little bit. Earlier on this pod, Mark said this guy wasn't a particularly good playoff goalie.
Tuukka Rask.
Tuukka Rask,
I'll take that point.
Wow.
925. Again, some of those numbers, though, like if you look at goals against average, for example, like Roman Czechmanek is
Sure.
good, but anyone who watched him knew he wasn't.
He wasn't, yeah.
Never really.
Ken
did it,
Hitchcock
but-
famously called him the bipolar goaler
Is that
on,
right?
on TSN Off the Record.
The Tuukka tantrums were fantastic. Like that guy had a hot head.
If Rask loses, if the Leafs don't deer in the headlights, Game 7 Bruins, he'd be the only goalie in history to blow a 3-0 and a 3-1 because he blew the 3-0 Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, in 2010.
And so is that reflective of him? No, he's still the Bruins' all-time leader in goal or in games played and wins, or maybe not.
Scotty Bowman used to say, "I've got two goalies. I've got Osgood and No Good."
Who won that trivia? Did Mark get me by a point?
I think he got you, edged you out there.
Latour, I only fish enough for me to eat. There's no reason for me to slaughter you. Of course, I let you say Rick Middleton. Of course I did.
Nifty.
After you guessed the first one wrong?
Well, we've got the people want some entertainment here.
All right, you need to watch for this video. It's going to be dropping this weekend. And I'm
Sunday.
super excited. It is one thing that we've been working hard on. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it.
Yeah. So Sunday, you'll be able to see it Sunday night. It's going to go up. Check out your matchups. You'll be able to go onto our Facebook page. You'll be able to see all the matchups, or you'll be able to see all the team lists there and follow along. It's a point for a goal, point for an assist, and a point for your team that you've selected to move on. And we're going to have a blast. Next Friday, we'll do a recap and see the hot matchups and see what's happening and that sort of thing. It'll be like Ron Barr, EA Sports.
I love that.
Who's hot, who's cold?
Mark Million, Matt Latour, producer Maddie. I'm Jordan Mercier. You've been listening to the latest edition of the Capital PTBO, the podcast.